Hey, what's good, fam? This your main man, Casey Fell, King Self for Life Wrestler Takes. This is gonna be a mixture. I'm gonna say a couple of things about what I felt about Dynamite, but this is mainly about the unfortunate situation revolving my guy Ricochet. Now, first, let's talk about Dynamite. What I thought about Dynamite, I thought it was a solid show. I do wish Tony Khan went just a tad bit harder because you're coming off a great pay-per-view. Now, I understand that you got certain things and certain pieces being plugged in. We got our first matchup going to the Dynasty is Cope and Cage for the AEW Tag Team titles, which is rightfully so. I see a whole lot of people is already complaining about. I'm saying, what you think? You know they was first in line. Like, I don't even know what are we talking about? You know they was first in line. People up here, this is right. Guess what? This is story development. Guess what? I love the whole segment that took place at the end. Guess what? You know who was involved? Young Bucks. Ladies and gentlemen, y'all do understand what's around the corner. Y'all should understand what is around. I told y'all in my review for Revolution. I told y'all exactly what's around the corner. I told you. Thekla was nowhere in sight. Don't know why. Thekla should have been on the show. She should have been there. This could have been an opportunity to bring back Britt. Had Britt and her go get ready to throw down the freaking Dynasty. That would have been cool. Tony got jumped. Obviously, she got jumped by Ronda. That ain't even a question. She got jumped by Ronda. Swerve and Kenny Omega. Listen, man. Hey, put your number one contender shot on the line. Swerve like, all right, cool, but let me get your EVP shot. If I put my number one contendership shot on the line, let me get your EVP stuff. Makes the most sense to me. I see people online complaining about that. Hey, listen, it's story development. This is all I ask in pro wrestling. I just want a story. Listen, we always gonna have time for flips and dives. Just give me a freaking story. Give me characters that make the most sense, and you got me. That's all you need to do. MJF cut one of the best promos in the game. This is why he's the man. This is exactly why he's the man. I don't have to tell you. I don't have to tell you why he's the man. That promo he cut. I mean, he said best dog collar match, best this match, best that. I mean, that's who he. Listen, let me tell y'all something. I'm gonna tell you 100% true. The first 2 years of me being introduced to Maxwell Jacob Freeman, I just heard the dude that could talk. I didn't really see the whole package. I didn't. It was year 3 when him and Darby had that match. I believe that was at, I want to say that was at Full Gear. That was it. That was the match that got me to say, okay, this young man got it. But the first 2 years, I just said, this dude's just a cocky prick. That's all I was saying. He's a cocky prick. This young man is the man. That's all I'm gonna say about that. Don Callis. Ladies and gentlemen, Don Callis is AEW's version of Kingpin. I don't have to explain why. And Andrade right now reminds me of Scorpion. If you remember in the Spider-Man series, you know how Scorpion was a villain / good guy. So he was always a tweener. He never really put himself as a villain. Yes, Spider-Man had to beat the brakes off him a couple times, but sometimes he would work with him. Andrade right now is in the middle right now. So right now he's an errand boy. He wants him to quote unquote put a hit out on Darby. And then, man, Darby's a clown. Let me tell y'all something. That coffee match wasn't even a coffee match. Listen, I do like the outside, where they was outside with the car and all that stuff. I was cool with all that. I ain't got a problem with that. Darby actually said he put a hit out. He wants MJF. Great. MJF is the target. That's what you want. You want all your Rough Riders going after that man. That's what you want. It makes the most sense. What else happened of importance on the show that I gotta keep on before we move on? Will Ospreay. Will Ospreay still got it. He got his neck taped up. You know what he want. He going after Moxley right now. And the crew came out. I believe next week we get Pac and Ospreay. Hey, fine. I don't have a problem as long as they stay healthy. That's all I ask. Just stay healthy, fellas. Just stay healthy. Outside of the goofy clown wrestling that we got on the show, for me, I'm just here for the storytelling. That's like I said, the pay-per-views is where you get your wrestling on. That's what I'm saying. But it's all about the story build-up. It's all about the story build-up. That's my takeaway from Dynamite yesterday. All right. This whole Ricochet thing. So, Ricochet called himself trying to get heat. I guess it was the fan who was coming against him, and apparently she had MS or something like that. So she said something to him, and he basically said, yeah, and I hope the MS take you out or something like that. Now, what he means by MS is multiple sclerosis or something like that. Ladies and gentlemen, we in a time nowadays where you can't be doing stuff like that. You know, you just can't. I don't care if you're trying to be a heel or you're trying all of this. No, you just can't. You know, and I understand why people went crazy and all that, but this is my big problem right here. Now, because of Ricochet's foolishness, everybody and their grandma. Now, first of all, they've been coming after Rick and Samantha. For people who are not familiar with Samantha, Samantha used to be the one who used to do the ring announcing in WWE. That is Ricochet's wife. People have been coming after Samantha even when they was in WWE, so this ain't nothing new. But the fact that these fools ran her offline because of his foolishness, I'm like, that ain't, look, I know cats say, well, because he sold this, it's where he's reaping. I'm like, look, Samantha ain't got nothing to do with Ricochet. Nothing. The only thing is she's married to him. That's the only thing they're connected. But outside of that, you look, go after Rick. You ain't got to go after Samantha. I don't give a dang how you look at it. That's why I say pro wrestling fans are some of the most clowniest, goofiest fools on the planet. I don't care how you look at it. But at the end of the day, Rick is immature. He's very immature. He has a serious pride problem. I'm noticing that. You know, like I said, man, look, word on the street, this is just me, but word on the street, this is strike number 2 for Ricochet. I'm willing to give Rick one final opportunity. Same thing that happened with CM Punk. CM Punk had 2 strikes. He got to that 3rd strike, he was out. So I'm willing to give grace. I'm willing to give grace one more opportunity. You got to mature. Rick, you got to mature, bro. I understand that you trying your best to be a heel and all of this and everything, and you're going at the fans and all of that, but at the end of the day, you got to know how to do it. Prime example, look at Maxwell Jacob Friedman. This fool say all kind of crazy stuff online. Yeah, he said, MJF has said worse than Ricochet. Let's call it for what it is. He said worse, but he know when not to cross certain lines or whatever. You know what I'm saying? So if I was Rick, what I would do, I would take this opportunity to, you know, look at myself in the mirror and realize, yo, my job is on the line. My livelihood is on the line. I can't keep coming out here doing this goofy stuff, and I'm trying to do the heel work, but it ain't working because I'm allowing real life backstage heat to affect how I tweet and how I do things. And it, you know, for me, like I said, for me personally, I would have never created that national championship. I wouldn't. What I would have done, I would have put the trios titles on them. That's what I would have done. I would have had the Rick and Gates of Agony. I would have had them with the trios titles. That was what they really needed. We didn't need another title. We didn't. AEW already got an abundance of titles. We got way too many titles to even think about. They didn't need that title. Well, because of that, Tony Khan said, all right, look, we're going to give you a title. We're going to let you do your thing. But because of that, it's backfired. It's caused all kind of havoc. And so I'm sitting up here like this. I'm like, look, you going to look, take a couple weeks off. We'll figure out what we're going to do with you, you know. And, you know, but when you come back, you got to cut this foolishness out, because if you keep this foolishness up, we're going to treat you just like how we did Phil. Kick you the heck up out of here, man. It's unfortunate. Like I said, I like Ricochet. You know, I don't have some cats like my man Ace. My man Ace, shout out to my boy Ariel. That man, he's using wash his hands with him. He said he's done with him. He's finished. Me, I'm willing to give this boy one more opportunity. I'm willing to give him one more opportunity. He gonna have to figure this thing out. But like I said, if he keep clowning, you got to go. I'm with him. My man said fire him right now. He said he ready to fire his behind right now. I'm sitting up here like this. I said, look, he made a terrible mistake. Immaturity. Yes, pride. The Bible says pride comes before the fall. I agree 100% with that. But I'm like, look at man. Look, I've seen people say so much worse online. You know what I'm saying? So Everybody is wrong. Rick's wrong for that. The fans are wrong. Don't come at this wife. Samantha ain't got nothing to do with this. But we gotta learn. We gotta grow up. We got to grow up, and we gotta figure this thing out. If you're going to be a heel, you're gonna have to figure out how to be a heel without crossing the line. You know what I'm saying? And especially if it's dealing with people who actually have real life diseases. You know what I'm saying? So that's all I really got to say. Like I said, I thought Dynamite was solid. Now the worst part about Dynamite was the fans. I don't know. Fresno, California, I don't think AEW needs to come back there ever again. The fans were terrible. That's one of the major reasons why a lot of people had mixed reactions about the shows, because certain things cats was trying to do their best, but then everybody else was just sitting on their hands and knees. I'm like, the crowd is designed to make or break a show. If you ain't making no noise, man, it's I don't know. But yeah, Fresno, California, I don't know. I may not be putting them back up there because they was quiet. They was quiet as a mouse, ladies and gentlemen. But that's all I got to say. I ain't really got nothing else to say. I'm about to stop up here and get some work gloves for work. But I'm like, it is what it is, ladies and gentlemen. It is what it is. So that's my thoughts on that. I really wasn't even going to speak on it. I was just going to let the thing just ride over. But like I said, me and my man Ace, we kind of had a little conversation today. And he kind of put some things on, because I wasn't really even thinking about him possibly having backstage heat or whatever, but apparently he do, you know. And like I said, unfortunately, he brought a lot of stuff upon himself, you know. So it is what it is. Like I said, that's my thing. That's my thoughts on the whole situation. I don't know what y'all thoughts on this one. Are y'all willing to give Ricochet another shot, or you really just say, you know what, hey, he didn't mess his, hey, you make your bed, you gotta lay in it. He the one that screwed up. So hey, this is it, y'all. I ain't got nothing else really to say. That's my thoughts. So if you're new to the channel, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Make sure you hit the like button and leave a comment. I'll holler at y'all. Cancel it. I'll let your boy.